Madam Chairman, Ms. Sagama, who sets gasoline prices at the gas pump? Like across the street, they're like $5.50 a gallon. Back in Wyoming, they're like $4.40 a gallon. Sometimes I go visit my daughter in Texas. They're around $4.10, $4.20. Senator Cruz, isn't that right? So they're cheaper in Texas than Wyoming, way more expensive here. Of course, California is off the charts. Who sets those prices at the gas pump?
Well, it's a complex market. It's not one person or one entity setting prices, and certainly the price of gas at the pump is different in different states and different regions because of different refinery capacity, different state taxes, et cetera. So I'm not sure I've got a clear answer for you on that as far as it's not one single person or entity.
Okay, so if the refinery in a region sets prices and only 5%, which isn't true, of course, but if they set the prices and only 5% of the gas stations are owned by refiners, how can that be enforced?
Well, the refiners don't set the price.
Exactly. Thank you. So the price at the pump is set by the person who's selling the gasoline, the person who owns the gas station. Is that correct?
There are hundreds of different, if not thousands of different factors that go into why prices are different at different gas stations, et cetera. But yes, ultimately, the owner of that gas station is going to set the price based on what he or she is paying to get the gas in and to the distributors. There are thousands of transactions that go into this.
Okay, so who prices oil at Brent or West Texas Intermediate crude? Who prices that?
I mean, that's a global commodity price. So
set by who?
I mean, it's set by the market. I'm not sure.
Okay, so what factors go into the market? What factors?
So as a producer, we are price takers off of that global commodity price. So I mean.
So let me ask you this. President Biden took office January 2nd. He halted new oil and gas leases on January 27th, and prices went up. Do you think there's a correlation between those two actions?
Well, just like any market, I mean, it's hard to say on any given day why a stock went up or down or the price of a commodity went up or down. But signals like political signals are very important. Obviously, fundamental market factors are important or are fundamental. Price shocks like from the invasion of Ukraine, all these things can affect the price of oil.
Is there a connection between the supply and the price?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we used to be energy independent. We produced more than we needed to consume. And were prices lower then?
Yes.
Okay, so now all these policies, canceling the Keystone Pipeline, take 30% of land off limits to oil and gas, federal land, halting drilling in ANWR, reversing the Trump natural gas regulations, reversing Trump NEPA regulations, DOE hiring 1,000 employees to eliminate oil, Russia invading Ukraine. Did these activities affect supply?
Absolutely, because our producers are affected by all of those regulatory measures.
Okay, so we're not consuming less, we're producing less. So it's got to come from somewhere. So when we used to be energy independent and produce more than we needed, we could export and help other countries so they're not dependent on bad actors like Mr. Putin. But now we're even the ones who are asking other countries to put more oil on the market, to sell us oil when we used to produce our oil. Is our oil dirtier and more environmentally toxic than their oil?
We probably produce the most sustainable and the cleanest oil in the world. I would say the United States and Canada.
Okay, so why do they call climate change global climate change? Because clearly we must have a bubble over North America where we can solve everybody's climate problems by the whole world's climate problems by quitting producing oil and gas here. Is that the case?
Actually, if we produce more natural gas, we could export more and we could deliver those greenhouse gas reductions that we've enjoyed in the United States to other countries as well.
Does India have cleaner air than we do?
No.
Does it produce more greenhouse gas emissions than we do? What about Eastern Europe?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I can tell you they produce way more greenhouse gas emissions. What about
if you're
China?
talking about their oil, yes, absolutely. Russian oil is has much more emissions.
Okay, what about China?
Well, their greenhouse gas emissions are off the charts.
What about ours?
Ours have been going down,
Because of?
primarily because of increased natural gas use.
Okay, so we had 6 LNG terminal permit requests sitting in this administration ungranted, while Germany is having to buy Russian oil and natural gas. Why? Ours is cleaner.
Quickly, because I'd like to get to second round quickly.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
You know what? My point is, global climate change is global. We're producing the cleanest air of any developed nation on Earth. And if climate change really mattered to the people who say it does, we'd be spending money to help India and Eastern Europe get their greenhouse gas emissions now instead of these costly incremental changes that we're producing in this country when we are the global leader in clean air technology for developed nations. Thank you. I yield back.